Men fredagen den avslutar vi med knappa 1,5 timmes pomp och glitter och yra och klang i den brittiska grammofonindustrins årliga Grammisgala.
Good evening to you and welcome to the Grosvenor House Hotel in Park Lane for the record business evening of the year. The time of year when you can't hire a dress suit in the West End of London because all the record business are taking them out. Brian Ferry arriving just behind me, many more stars coming in for the 5th annual BPI Awards. From Britain with a ski injury, Paul Young and girlfriend Stacey. Huey Lewis in the news from America. Annie Lennox, Howard Jones, and Alison Moyet. And from America, Daryl Hall. Excitement and action all the way for the next hour and a half. Please stay with us. If you are watching or listening in Britain, don't forget it's available on BBC One television and in stereo on VHF with Radio 1. Let's go inside to the warm for tonight's show. From the Grosvenor House Hotel in London, the British Record Industry Awards, and your host, Noel Edmonds.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you, and wherever you are, a very warm welcome to the 1986 British Record Industry Awards. I say wherever you are because this year the awards presentation is not just being seen throughout the United Kingdom, it is being seen throughout the world. The estimated audience is over 100 million. And there are only 2 award shows that are seen throughout the world in that way. One is the Oscars, and the other is this special presentation here in London tonight. Now, more than any other British industry that draws worldwide attention, the British record industry is known throughout the land. Well, with the possible exception of the British helicopter industry that's doing quite well at the moment for publicity. But last year was a quite amazing year, a year of incredible achievement. The British record industry is very valuable to the British economy. It is one of our greatest invisible earners. We'll come on to that in just a little while. But tonight is a night of excitement. If it's anything like last year, it's going to be a night of unpredictable behavior, but it's certainly going to be a great evening of live music. To get us underway, one of our very finest artists, Phil Collins. Thank you, Phil. The British record industry is one of this country's greatest assets. In 1 year alone, the sales of British records and tapes brought in over $2.5 billion. In real money, that's about £1.75 billion. And royalties from those sales amounted to £350 million. In 1985, almost half the singles that made it to #1 in America were British. In 1985, 1 in 3 hit records throughout the world were British. And that's the reason why we have annually these awards, to recognize the managers, the record companies, and of course the stars who make those kind of statistics possible. Last year, most of the honors went to a new band, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. No doubt Frankie and many other groups like Frankie would have been up for more nominations this year had they not spent so much time in the recording studio, and, or rather not spent so much time in the recording studio and spent a lot of time on the road. It's an industry that's always changing, of course. It is extremely unpredictable, one of the reasons that makes it quite so exciting. The votes have been cast by 120 record companies that form the British phonographic industry, the BPI. The large companies and the small companies all have the same voting power. The first category tonight is the Best British Male Artist. To make the presentation, a lady who carried off the Female Award last year, Alison Moyet. Before we find out from Alison who is the winner, let's have a look at the nominations for this year. And we start with Phil Collins, Elton John, Sting, Midge Ure, and Paul Young.
Phil Collins was the man who played 2 gigs on the same day on opposite sides of the Atlantic in 1985, and it happened, of course, at Live Aid. He's also toured Britain, Europe, Australia, Japan, America, and Canada in the past 12 months. Elton John seeks that elusive #1 in Britain, but he's been #1 with this one all over the world except for this country. Nikita, his first hit was 15 years ago, and he's still a part of the contemporary rock scene. Elton John. Sting took the gamble in 1985 of going out on the road with a new band. The gamble paid off, a hit album with Dream of the Blue Turtles and this single, Seventh Wave. Another man who took the gamble going solo, Midge Ure, a #1 single with If I Was, and a hit album, The Gift, Midge Ure. The winner of last year's Best British Male Award, Paul Young. Another successful year for him, getting to #1 for the first time in America with this song, Every Time You Go Away.
Every time you go.
Right, can we please find out who's the recipient, Alison?
Okay. And the best male artist is Phil Collins.
Great news for Phil Collins. 2 weeks ago, he got 5 nominations in the American Music Awards. He's also nominated in the Grammys. He's won an Oscar for his film soundtrack work. And now, Best British Male Artist at the British Record Industry Awards. Just finished recording a new album with Genesis that'll be released at the end of February. But Phil Collins, the Best British Male Artist for 1985.
I'd only just sat down, actually. Thank you very much. As I'm the first up here, I can be boring and thank everybody. I'd like to thank, first of all, my wife, Jill, because I tend to work quite a lot, and she never complains, at least I never hear her complain, probably because I'm never there to hear her complain. I'd also like to thank Tony Smith, who's managed Genesis and myself in such steadfast fashion over the last few years. And I'd also like to thank the guys in my band, because they flew over especially for tonight, and they worked their asses off last year on the tour. Chester Thompson, Darryl Sturmer, Peter Robinson, the Phoenix Horns, and Leland Sklar, who couldn't be here tonight. And Hugh Padgham, who co-produced all my records with me, wonderful bloke. and the British music press for being so encouraging. Thank you very much.
Not every award this evening is actually voted for by members of the BPI. There are two consumer awards, and the voters are the listeners and viewers to the BBC. One is the Radio 1 Best Newcomer Award, and we'll come to that in just a while. But first, the Top of the Pops Best Video Award. Last year it went to Duran Duran's Wild Boys. As always, the competition has been very fierce. To make the presentation, a gentleman who is a true legend in this business. He was the first recipient of this award, Cliff Richard.
We go straight in.
Okay. Straight on with it.
Actually, hearing statistics like 1 in 3 British records being in the charts everywhere makes me justly proud to be Brits.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay, Best British Video. Number 3, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Number 2, David Bowie, stroke Mick Jagger, Dancing in the Street. And number 1 is Paul Young, Every Time You Go Away, directed by David Mallet. It's the second year running that Paul Young has received a BPI award. He's having a nibble at the moment, but he's decided to get up to go and receive his award. Last year, Best British Male Artist. For director David Mallet, this is his first award. It is interesting to note that he also directed the runner-up video, Bowie and Jagger's Dancing in the Street. And good to see that all the top 3 nominated videos had British directors with them. Paul Young making his way to the stage for Top of the Pops Best British Video, Every Time You Go Away, directed by David Mallet.
Well, as you can see by the fact I'm still eating, I wasn't expecting that one. Very nice, though, very nice. So I'd like to say thanks to everybody that worked on the video, especially David Mallet, who sat on my table. Thanks very much. And as I can say, a total surprise, unprepared as usual. But thanks very much to everybody concerned.
Let's see a little bit more of the video that got that honour for Paul Young.
Hey, if we can solve any problem, then why do we lose so many tears? Oh, so you go again when the leading man appears.
Live music for you, and a band who are enjoying tremendous success, not just in Europe, but in Japan and America. They're up for a couple of nominations this evening, but let's now hear Tears for Fears.
Welcome
Tears for Fears. Still to come, we have the Most Promising Newcomer Awards, for which Terry Wogan has received a nomination. However, we move on to the Best British Album. And to make the presentation, a gentleman who's currently in London recording a new solo album with Eurythmics producer Dave Stewart. We've got Daryl Hall.
Yes.
How is your album going?
Very well. Would I lie? I mean, you know.
Why have you decided to do a solo album?
Well, a solo album just to do something different. I mean, I've
You
been
haven't
with
fallen out with him then?
No. We're great friends. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll have the nominations first of all before we find out exactly who's walking off with this coveted one. Kate Bush is up for Hounds of Love. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. The Eurythmics, Be Yourself Tonight. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. And Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms.
All right, and we have for Best British Album, Phil Collins, No Jacket Required.
Well, he is surprised, genuinely surprised by that. Looks like Phil Collins isn't going to get much chance to eat his dinner tonight either, because if he's not singing songs, he's picking up awards here at the Grosvenor House. Second success of the evening. No Jacket Required topped the charts in America, Holland, Switzerland, Belgium, Sweden, Australia, Austria, France, Denmark, and Canada. Co-produced by Hugh Padgham, the album, and mixed in London's good old Goldhawk Road in West 12. Phil Collins, Best British Album, No Jacket Required.
And I started drinking and everything. Well, I've said all my thank yous, but I really would like to thank Hugh Padgham, who works on all the records with me, because he's a real tower of strength. And I'd also like to thank, because I forgot the first time, Armour Ertegun and Atlantic Records and Neshri Ertegun and WEA Records, and of course Richard Branson and everybody at Virgin for making this popular. And also, of course, the people out there watching tonight that bought the thing. Thank you very much.
Now we come to the Best Classical Recording. To make this presentation is a gentleman who has won more Grammys than any other artist in any field of music, 25 to be precise. He made his first record in 1947. For 16 years, he's been musical director of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. He's got a long and very happy association with the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir George Solti. Before you open the envelope, I'll just say what the nominations for this particular category read like this. Elgar's Violin Concerto, the soloist Nigel Kennedy. Fauré's Requiem, the Cambridge Singers and the City of London Sinfonia, conductor John Rutter. Handel's Messiah, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra with Dame Kiri Takanawa. Haydn's Cello Concerto, Julian Lloyd Webber with the English Chamber Orchestra. And Pachelbel's Canon and Guy, Trevor Pinnock with the English Concert. So, would you like to tell us, please?
The winner is Michael Kennedy, Elgar Violin Concerto, Nigel Kennedy.
Triple congratulations in order for soloist Nigel Kennedy, because this is actually the third award for this particular recording of Elgar's Violin Concerto. The record won the concerto section of the Gramophone Awards and the Gramophone Record of the Year. Best British Classical Recording, Nigel Kennedy.
Well, thank you very much. It is obviously, one of the most important moments of my life, especially receiving the award from Sir George. And you know, it would stand up against the event of Aston Villa winning the League Cup if such a thing happened, you know. There's various other people I'd like to mention, but I'll try not to do a Sally Field. I'm going to, first of all, mention Vernon Handley, who has given so much to Elgar's music. He of course, has conducted all the Elgar symphonies on record, and I was very honoured to be able to collaborate with him. I'd also like to thank EMI for making it possible, and Simon Foster for getting together a team which could do that. We had a lot of fun making the record, and I feel very proud to be part of an event which, and to be part of a record which was of British music and by a British composer with a British conductor and a wonderful British orchestra. And so, thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you to George Johnson. Now we come to the Best British Group, and to make this presentation, a lady whose first record back in 1976 went gold. Since then, all her records have gone gold. Joan Armour Trading. So we're looking for the Best British Group. Here come the nominations, and another category which is very closely fought indeed sees Dire Straits up for it. Also the Eurythmics, Simple Minds, Tears for Fears, and U2.
Dire Straits, undeniably one of the world's most successful rock bands. Brothers in Arms, their album this year was the biggest selling LP in the UK. For the whole of the 12 months, it was never out of the top 10. And in the States, it was #1 for 10 weeks. It got platinum sales in 15 different countries for Dire Straits. Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, Eurythmics, have been together now for 9 years. It doesn't seem a day too much. According to Annie, when she first met Dave, she regarded him as a serious nutter. They've been described as the most successful pairing since Fred Astaire swept Ginger Rogers off her feet. Simple Minds from Glasgow, formed in 1977 out of the remains of a punk band. Their first album released in 1979. Their singer Jim Kerr is married to Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders. This is Don't You Forget About Me. A big hit single, #7 in the UK this year. Tears for Fears, another band doing well in the States at the moment. Last year they topped the charts in numerous countries with Shout and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. They're now writing material for their third LP, which will be recorded later this year. Tears for Fears. 1985 was the year that U2 achieved much wider recognition due to that stunning performance in Live Aid. An eventful year altogether for them, the band starting with a tour of Europe, then the US, and then Rolling Stone magazine called them the band of the 80s. U2.
The Best British Group.
And the winner is Dire Straits.
Well, this wouldn't be a prestigious awards show without that immortal phrase. Unfortunately, they can't be with us this evening. They've got a pretty good reason why they can't make it. They're a very long way away, but they have sent us this message. Dire Straits.
Hello, sorry we can't be with you tonight, but as you can see, we're here in Australia rehearsing for the last leg of our world tour, and it sounds pretty good, Al. But thanks very much for voting us Best British Group in the BPI Awards. Thanks for voting.
And Mark Knopfler specifically asked one gentleman to come and receive the award on behalf of Dire Straits, a chap who he reckons influenced him tremendously in his early years, Hank Marvin.
I've always wanted to accept one of these. And it gives me great pleasure to do so on behalf of a group who I think have thrilled us all over the last few years. When I saw that they had been nominated, I felt very happy for them. And when Mark called me last week from Australia, I felt very touched because he reversed the charges. But I feel really ecstatic that they've won this, and I'm sure many things more in the coming years, because they're a band who've made it throughout the world on talent, on the strength of their music, on the quality of their music. So long live Dire Straits. Thank you on their behalf. Thank you.
Time now to turn our attention back to our music stage, and a young lady who's been quiet for a while, but she's back with a bang and tremendous success. We should all congratulate her for what she's been doing in America recently. And here she is with the title track from her best-selling #1 album, Hounds of Love, Kate Bush. Kate Bush. Thank you, Kate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this industry, of course, thrives on new talent, which is why this next award could be regarded as the most important one of the evening. It's the Radio 1 Award for the artist or group who came to prominence in 1985. It was voted for by the listeners to Radio 1. Last year, the award went to Frankie Goes to Hollywood. To make the presentation, we were going to have Jonathan King, but unfortunately he was admitted to hospital earlier today with a sudden attack of compassion, and I understand his condition is described as unbearable. So, in his place, we have from Radio 1, Gary Davis. The most important award. I mean, it's quite something to break into the industry, but what about actually getting an award?
Well, it's a very tough job indeed when you consider that probably some 30,000, raw beginners applied to record companies last year, and in terms of contracts, maybe 1%, 300 people were offered recording contracts. So it's not easy.
I mean, only a fraction have actually had hit.
Well, that's right. I mean, the competition from established artists is just so fierce. For a newcomer to get a hit single with their first single is very difficult indeed, let alone any of their singles. It's a tough game.
Yet there are a lot of hopefuls who keep trying.
Well, that's right. The marvellous thing about the business is that there's so much enthusiasm. And I do actually have a message from the BPI tonight for all newcomers, people struggling for contracts, and that is keep on sending in the tapes, because the industry relies on new talent. It's going to be nowhere without it. And also remember that people like Cliff Richard, people like Dire Straits, Phil Collins, they were all newcomers once, and you never know, maybe this time next year you could be receiving this award as well.
Thank you for that message from the Department of Employment. Would you like, please, to tell us who's got the Radio 1 votes?
Certainly. The Radio 1 newcomers of 1985, Go West!
Go West aren't complete newcomers to the business. They've been around since 1982, but it's only in the last 12 months that they've rocketed to fame. Leading American producer Arif Martin has described their sound as modern Motown. Their debut single, We Close Our Eyes, got to number 5 in the British charts. Peter Cox and Richard Drummy they are. They come from Twickenham in Middlesex. They write all their own material, and they've toured extensively in Europe, Japan and America this year. Taking a bit of a break, but they have a new album coming out soon. Best British newcomers from Radio 1, Go West!
I tell you, only Chris Wright was giving me a little glance earlier on every time I had a drink, so I had a rough idea something like this might happen. Come on, there's a lot of people to thank, and we're going to forget them all, so there's a few here. If we don't thank them, they're going to give us a good kick-in. There's Al Murphy up there, all our band, Gary Stevenson, John Glover. Oh, I don't know.
He's touched. I tell you. We'd also like to say thanks very much to our publishers and to Chrysalis Records, who've been a great support. Thanks very much. You don't.
Now we come to the best international solo artist. You'll probably remember the scenes from last year. The sight is etched on my brain forever. Last year's recipient was Prince, who arrived with his mother-in-law wearing a leotard. Well, I'm not quite sure it's going to be as glamorous as that this year, but to reveal the recipient, a gentleman who's the co-producer of Band-Aid. They united the world, so who better to come and make this presentation? Mid-Europe.
Thank you.
What have you been doing recently?
I went round the world in 60 days. I did a very short tour of the world. I'd been a very short character. It was quite a good thing to do.
You look very tanned. Where did you pick that up?
This was in Montserrat, and I topped it off last week by going skiing. It's a very hard life being in the music business, really. It's awful stuff. I'm sure that the only reason that I've been asked to come and read the nominations for the Best International Solo Artist is the fact that the BPI actually wanted to find out if I could talk or not, because last year I didn't get much chance to say thank you for the award I got last year, so I'll get out of the way and say thank you. And now the Best International Solo Artist.
Hold it. Let's go to the nominations first. Let's see who is up for this award. And it's tough going. Madonna is a possibility. Lionel Richie has been nominated. Bruce Springsteen. Tina Turner. And Stevie Wonder.
Madonna, originally a dancer, she turned to acting and starred in a number of feature films before eventually becoming a singer. As well as singing, dancing and acting, she also plays drums, guitar and keyboard and fends off sun photographers for her husband Sean Penn. Lionel Richie, one of the biggest stars in the world. The second year he's been nominated for a BPI award. He's also achieved an unprecedented 21 Grammy nominations. The Boss. He may have been born in the USA, but Springsteen is as big in Britain now as he is in the States. During 1985, he had 4 albums in the UK charts and 2 hit singles. Bruce Springsteen. Tina Turner, born Anna Mae Bullock in Nutbush City. She's had hit after hit and seems to have absolutely boundless energy. With legs like those, she could take part in our Y-Front challenge. Stevie Wonder, 35 years old, but already he's been in the record industry for 24 years. There are a few people here tonight who remember the days when he was called Little Stevie Wonder.
Group out the denims, lads. It's Bruce Springsteen.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Springsteen can't be with us, but he has sent a video message.
I'd like to say thanks to all our British and European fans for the support, not just this year, but since we started coming over in 1975. I'd like to say that the shows that we did throughout Europe this year were some of the highlights of the whole tour for me and the E Street Band. We had a lot of fun. I'd like to take this opportunity from us to you to say thank you very much.
And to receive the award, on behalf of Bruce Springsteen, somebody who knows all about the Springsteen magic, Niels Lofgren.
Thank you very much. I feel very lucky to be here. I just happened to be over here mixing a live album I recorded in London, and I got a phone call asking me to come here since Bruce couldn't make it. And so I don't forget what I wanted to say, I wrote it down. But on behalf of Bruce and the E Street Band, I'd like to thank all of you, especially the fans, for honoring Bruce with the award. And the success of Bruce's music has given him a great deal of power, and he has shown that this power can and should be used to inspire all people, especially those of us more fortunate, to help make our troubled world a better place for all. It's taken an incredible amount of courage and dedication for Bruce to accomplish this. So Bruce, from your fans and all of us here tonight, thanks, and most of all, I thank God for giving you the talent and strength to see it through. Bruce, I love you, we love you. Congratulations from all of us. Thank you.
Good to see that denim's coming back into fashion at last. Now we have a special award for outstanding achievement in the British record industry. This award is not given every year, only when the occasion merits it. The BPI Council are presenting 2 awards to 2 separate acts, who, with the support of their managers and their record companies, have achieved something both unique and spectacular. They've taken British pop music to previously unexploited territories. They have created new markets in perhaps the most unlikeliest of places. The first award goes to 2 young men who went to China and had a huge success. George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley of Wham, their managers Jazz Summers and Simon Napier Bell. Secondly, one of the most innovative and creative artists who set the ball rolling back in 1979 when he went to Russia and subsequently took British pop music to the Eastern Bloc countries. He, of course, is Elton John.
Tell him it's his. Tell him he can keep it. He probably doesn't want it. Well, maybe not, but he can have it all the same.
How many players in your band? The famous British singing star, George McKell.
What do Wang say?
Any suggestions? Any suggestions, camera crew?
...1979, Elton John in Russia.
We're back in the USSR. Back in the USSR. Back in the US. Back in the USSR, boys.
Special awards for outstanding achievement. We have a special guest this evening. A gentleman who has only recently returned to public life after a long stay in hospital. The BPI are very honoured to welcome this evening the Right Honourable Norman Tebbit.
Thanks for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a most extraordinary occasion. The office which I hold, that of the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, has existed since 1399, and this is the first occasion on which the office holder has been invited to present these awards at a ceremony such as this. It is a moment when it would be easy to lose one's head. One or two of my predecessors did. Somewhere in the 15th century, I think, the last time. But what I want to say to you this evening is I don't know anything about pop music. I don't understand it. There's even been moments when I thought that perhaps, as the volume turned up, the lucky guys were the cameramen. They'd got the ear defenders on. But what I do know is that this industry is an immensely successful industry, full of talented people. What an industry. 11 of the #1 hits in the United States. I wish the motorcar industry could do the same here. £1 billion worth of exports. A terrific achievement. Enormous talent, all developed in the most competitive spirit that one can see. I can promise you, I'm not going to announce that we're going to have a minister for music nor a policy for pop, though I wouldn't mind a few more pop policies at times. I'm going to congratulate you and the award winners on your enormous success, which has made so many young people particularly not only happy when they listen to the music, but even happier as they count the benefits of having made the music. It's competitive. It's a great industry. It supplies what the people want. It creates wealth. What more could we ask? And it's one which so many people enjoy. And then while they're enjoying it, they also remember those who are perhaps less fortunate. Not only those who've been denied music in the past, of the style which Elton John took to Russia or Wham took to China, but those in the world who are really less fortunate. And both Elton John and Wham were distinguished for the part which they played in the Live Aid movement last year, which did so much. I congratulate you all, but above all, I congratulate them on a magnificent achievement for this country, for music, and for the world.
Please ask the Wham team to come up. George and Andrew, Simon Napier-Bell and Jazz Summers, and also Elton John. Will they come up, please?
For Wham, a great moment, surely the most popular group in the world today, and Elton John, the most popular rock artist of all time, making his way to the stage to join George and Andrew. Of course, he worked with George this year on his own LP and at Live Aid. And let's not forget John Reid, Elton's manager, who couldn't be here this evening.
Side.
Thank you. Having read about this award in this morning's bizarre exclusive in The Sun, it rather takes the edge off it. Nevertheless, it's gratifying to feel that the British music industry takes us seriously and this particular venture as a genuine one. Thanks.
I'd just like to hope that what happened last year in China won't be a singular event, and I hope that other bands will get to play there, because in the same way that the Live Aid venture was to feed mouths, I would hope that what we did last year and what Elton did in Russia was a way of starting some kind of, I don't know, emotional feeding for countries who've had some kind of restrictions on the amount of music or the type of music that they hear in their own countries. And I'd just like to think that it wasn't the only occasion on which it will happen. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chap who started it in 1979 in Russia, Elton John.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that it's very easy to go to Russia. All you have to do is phone the Foreign Office up and they'll fix it up for you. I mean, I can't believe it. I'd just like to thank Jerry Jones for the wig. Thank you.
Elton is going to stay up here, and thank you very much indeed to Mr. Tevitt. Elton's going to stay here and make the presentation for the Best International Group. Let's have the nominations in that category, first of all. And first up, the Cars. Huey Lewis and the News. Kool and the Gang. Talking Heads. ZZ Top.
The Cars have been together as a five-piece outfit since 1976. They're in their embryonic stage. They were just a duo playing the clubs in their hometown of Boston. Last year they had 2 LPs in the British LP charts, Heartbeat City and Their Greatest Hits. And Drive reached the top 5 twice, earned a gold disc and raised over £160,000 for the Ethiopian famine appeal. It's taken Huey Lewis and the News quite a while to crack the British charts, but they've done it at last in a big way with The Power of Love. The band have been huge in America for a long time, and their current LP, Sports, has been in the Billboard charts there for a staggering 100 weeks. Kool and the Gang, a happy band. They describe the group's musical style in the New York Daily News as cheerfulness that will jiggle the legs and make you forget about the day. They're big in Britain. Every record they bring out gets into the top 10. Cherish was number 4 in '85. Talking Heads, another one of those groups whose impact on the British public has been long overdue. They still have some way to go to achieve the credit they really deserve here, but '85 has seen a considerable rise in their UK profile. Formed in 1974, Talking Heads are nominated for Best International Group alongside ZZ Top. One of the most modest rock and roll bands in the world, a little old boogie band from Texas, but they have come a long way since the days when they played rock-a-boogie in their grubby little bars in Houston. ZZ Top!
Yes, come along, darling, come along.
Could you tell us, please, Best International Group of last year?
It's not the Headley Ward Trio, is it? Best International Group, Huey Lewis and the News.
That one goes down very well at the Grosvenor House. Huey Lewis and the News. Huey from San Francisco, he's been singing since the mid-70s, started with a country rock band called Clover. That was after he spent a year hitchhiking around Europe with a backpack and a harmonica. The band is Sean Hopper, Chris Hayes, Johnny Cola, Mario Cipollina, and Bill Gibson. Huey Lewis and the News, the Best International Group.
Well, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. We've won a few awards, but I never thought we'd win an international one. I suppose we'll have to start drinking wine or something. Yes. There are, however, a few international people, shall we say, without whom we would not be here tonight, and we'd like to thank them. They are Terry Ellis and Chris Wright, Dave Robinson, Jake Riviera, Nick Lowe, Roger Watson, Mike Allen, Ken, Phil, Carl Layton Pope, and one more guy without whom, personally, I would not be standing here for sure, and that is Philip Linnett. And Philip taught us all, I think, to believe in ourselves and to love each other, and this one's really for him. Thanks very much.
Well, they might not have realised they were going to get the award, but they knew that they were going to be presenting a number for us now. Got a feeling that you probably recognise it in one way or another. Big hit for them last year. One of the reasons why they are our best international group of 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, Huey Lewis and the News.
Another man sing, change your heart to a little white dove. Born with a feeling, that's the power of love. Tougher than diamonds, rich like cream, stronger and harder than a bad girl's dream. Make a bad one good, make a wrong one right. Power of love will keep you home at night. Don't need money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and it's cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. That's the power of love. First time you feel it, it might make you sad. Next time you feel it, it might make you mad. You'll be glad, baby, when you're found. That's the power that makes the world go round. And it don't take money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden, it can be cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. They say that only love is fair, yeah, but you don't care. But you know what to do when it gets hard on you. And with a little help from above, you feel the power of love. Feel the power of love. Can you feel it?
Next in the news, our top international group. And now we come to a prestigious award for the Best Producer. And to present this, a gentleman whose career is blossoming both on this side of the Atlantic and over in America. His records are known for their very high production quality, and therefore he's just the person to present this award. Howard Jones. Let's have a look, first of all, at the nominations in this category. We'll start off with Trevor Horn, Chris Hughes, Steve Lillywhite, Hugh Padgham, and David A. Stewart.
Trevor Horn has twice won this award, and this is his 4th consecutive nomination for the title. In the past, he has, of course, worked with ABC, Dollar, Spandau Ballet, and, of course, the Frankies as well. Recently, however, he's devoted 9 months to producing Grace Jones' Slave to the Rhythm LP. Chris Hughes scored a major success in '85 with this single and the album from which it's taken, Songs from the Big Chair, Tears for Fears. He also worked with Red Box on Lean on Me. Steve Lillywhite, working here with the Mrs. Kirsty MacColl. Also Simple Minds, Big Country, U2 and The Stones. Just a few of the groups and artists produced by Steve Lillywhite. And Hugh Padgham, sharing with Phil Collins the success of hits like Sussudio, One More Night, and all the others from No Jacket Required. He also worked with the Police in the early days. Hugh Padgham. You'd think Dave Stewart would have his work cut out just being part of the Eurythmics and albums like Be Yourself Tonight, but he's also helping Fergal Sharkey, who had a #1 with A Good Heart.
Producers don't often get the credit that they deserve, and the best British producer is Mr. David A. Stewart.
Dave Stewart! Dave Stewart of Eurythmics, wearing his producer hat on this particular occasion. He's also worked with Tom Petty, the Ramones, James Galway, and Fergal Sharkey as well. And at the moment is working in London with one of our guests tonight, Daryl Hall, producing the Daryl Hall solo LP. Dave Stewart, Best British Producer.
Good evening. I'd just like to say that when I was about 8 years old, I got my first tape recorder. And I used to go in the street and record people and then bring it back to my house and listen to it and actually wet myself because I was recording reality. And nowadays, I'd like some kind of studio manufacturers or people who invent soundboards, if they could please fit a urinal on the front of the soundboard in my studio, I'd be most welcome.
Tell what he thinks of the catering, he's gone home. I said at the beginning of this ceremony that we're being watched worldwide by over 100 million people. That figure pales into insignificance compared with the audience for a unique musical event that took place last year on July the 13th. Live Aid managed to raise countless millions of pounds to try and help the starving people of Africa. The BPI at this special ceremony would like to try and acknowledge the tremendous work that was done by everyone associated with Live Aid. Here's the chairman of the BPI, Maurice Oberstein.
I'm proud to be the one tonight who has to present this special BPI award. It's an honor for me as well as the recipient. The BPI's citation reads as follows: 10th of February, 1986. For his determination, organizational skills, and sheer bloody-mindedness, which not only saved millions of lives, but brought worldwide attention to the plight of the famine victims in Africa. For making 1985 a year in which Live Aid brought compassion out into the open and raised nearly $100 million for charitable purposes. The British record industry wishes to acknowledge its unparalleled admiration for this man's work and dedication, and to present its own very special Live Aid award to Bob Geldof.
And a standing ovation at the Grosvenor House for Bob Geldof. He got a standing ovation here last year, just after he had launched Band Aid. Band Aid became Live Aid, and Live Aid became a piece of history. The stimulus for the world to help Africa. And Bob Geldof receiving a wonderful award for his work, his tireless work. Work which apparently left him without the money to pay his own phone bill. The work continues, and Bob Geldof joins us for this special award on stage.
Thank you very much. Stand, please. Stand. Thank you. Thank you. I've only got a couple of minutes last year. They learned their lesson last year. And I'll spare Midge the problems this year. As you know, Midge did the record with me, and Kevin Gendon set up the Band Aid organisation with me. And the main person who I think we have to thank for Live Aid, aside from everybody here this evening, and indeed practically every artist here tonight who played on Live Aid, was Harvey Goldsmith, and I don't think he's ever recognised enough. Harvey, I'd like to give you this.
And Harvey Goldsmith being called up from the audience here at Grosvenor House to join Bob Geldof on stage, a man who promotes more rock concerts in the world than just about anybody else. And whilst he was involved in the promotion of Live Aid, he had several other big bands touring the world, touring through Britain and putting on concerts, and yet he still managed to find the time and the energy and the resources to put into the organisation of Live Aid. So a grand award from Bob Geldof to Harvey Goldsmith.
I hope Mr. Tebbett sees that it looks very nice around my neck, you know. There you go, Harvey. The whole thing here tonight actually looks like Spitting Image come to life. It's very funny. Harvey, you can say something.
I think I'd like to thank Maurice Jones, who helped me put the show together at Wembley, and all his people. I'd like to thank Bill Graham and Larry Magid, who put the show on in Philadelphia, and Mike Mitchell, Hal Uplinger, Tony Werner, particularly Tony, who sat in Philadelphia and produced 5 different live TV shows at once that went round the world. And particularly everybody who's been amazingly patient and lived with me in my office to make this show work. Andy, Beth, Pete Wilson, Steve, and particularly a guy called Pete Smith, who sat down on the phone every single day until he got through every act and made it work. Thank you.
Bob Geldof, Harvey Goldsmith.
Sing it to the world!
The next category is for the Best British Single. And to make the presentation, a gentleman who honoured Live Aid by getting his band back together, especially for the occasion. From The Who, the legendary rocker, Mr. Daltrey. All right, so, I mean, you were working in July, but what have you been doing since then?
Yeah, I've been in Antigua. I went to escape Terry Wogan and I found out he was coming. So.
but it was nice.
What were you doing in Antigua? Just having a
Just
holiday?
vacation, yeah.
Okay. We'll go with the nominations before we find out exactly who's walking off with the title. The Best British Single. Will it be David Bowie and Mick Jagger, Dancing in the Street? Kate Bush again, Running Up That Hill. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Paul Hardcastle, 19. And Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
At Live Aid we got the video first, and after that, by popular demand, came the record. The old Martha Reeves and the Vandellas hit Dancing in the Street, Mick Jagger and David Bowie. For some time, people have been asking whatever happened to Kate Bush, but as we've seen tonight, she's as good as ever and leapt back into the limelight last year with this song. It got into the top 3 and earned her a silver disc. She also had great success with her album Hounds of Love. Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill.
Look at them yo-yos.
Third nomination for Dire Straits tonight, and we've already seen them win Best British Group title, and of course they were nominated in the Best British LP section for Brothers in Arms. Money for Nothing is taken from that album and was a big success in '85. The most unusual sound of the year, Paul Hardcastle's number 19. Another group getting their third nomination in the awards this year, Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. They wrote specially to break into the American market. It achieved that success there and here. The track taken from that best-selling LP, Songs from the Big Chair.
Okay, Roger, could you please tell us which one is it going to be?
The best British single is Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Tears for Fears.
Well, that's a first in more ways than one for them. It's their first BPI award. 2 other nominations tonight for Tears for Fears, but that is their first award for Roland Aldermal and Kurt Smith from Bath in the West Country. Tears for Fears. Best British single of '85. Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank our record company, Phonogram in Britain and Polygram worldwide. Everyone at Outlaw, our management company, especially Paul King and Paul Crockford, who had all the confidence in us. The other 2 group members who go unnoticed, Ian Stanley and Manny Elias. David Bascom, our engineer. Our road crew on tour, who looked after us for 9 months of last year. And last but not least, Chris Hughes, our producer, who persuaded us to do a song that originally we had no confidence in at all. So, from a very pleasant and humble group, thank you very much.
Now we come to the category for the Best British Female Artist. To make this presentation, the gentleman who went away with the Male Award last year, he's already won the Top of the Pops Video Award this evening, Paul Young. He just said he hasn't got a chance with this one. You never know. Nominations for the Best Female Artist. That name again, Kate Bush, Annie Lennox, Alison Moyet, Sade, and Bonnie Tyler.
It's the third nomination tonight for Kate Bush. Could this be the lucky one for her? She doesn't need much luck. It was sheer talent and originality that brought her to fame in the late 70s. After taking a bit of a rest, she's making great records again. Her first hit in 1978, Wuthering Heights. Once voted one of the 10 most beautiful women in the world, Annie Lennox. Britain's top female vocalist in the 1983 BPI Awards and nominated again last year, Annie Lennox. Another former BPI Award winner, Alison Moyet. She won the Best British Female Artist title last year. And those of you who were watching last year will remember that great performance of All Cried Out. Alison Moyet is nominated for Best Female Singer this year. The award may be for Best Female Artist, but Sade also happens to be a talented writer and arranger. She composes most of her own material, starting her music career as a backing singer, and now a big star worldwide. Like Bonnie Tyler, Swansea lass, been singing since the age of 17. It wasn't until 1976 she got her stardom with Lost in France in the charts at number 9.
Okay, Paul, would you like to open the envelope?
I will. Okay, the best British female artist is somebody who I shared the same label with 8 years ago, Chortle. And she's still looking as young as ever, Annie Lennox.
Oh wow, what a good award. Very popular, Annie Lennox. She's come an awfully long way from the place where she first worked, a fish factory, before she studied at the Royal Academy of Music. She wins the award again after winning it in 1983. And that means that both members of Eurythmics have walked away with an award tonight from here. Dave Stewart, of course, got Best British Producer, but Annie Lennox, Best Female Artist of 1985.
Oh, I really wasn't expecting this. This is a real surprise for me, and I'm genuinely very touched. Fantastic. Thank you very much. If you could bear with me for 2 minutes, I really would like to thank Dave Stewart, my partner. He's not as mad as he sounds, really. I'd also love to thank my management company, Kenny, Karen, everyone there. My record company, RCA, thank you very much for standing by us. And everybody who's come tonight, thank you very much indeed.
And let's close this evening the way in which we started, with a gentleman who is 2 awards better off than about an hour and a half ago. He is the Best Male Artist of 1985. He also has got the top album of that year, Phil Collins. Thank you very much to Phil Collins. And I'm sure you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, over the last hour and a half, we have once again confirmed the influence, the strength, the power of the British record industry throughout the world. We wish you a very successful 1986, and the BPI hope that they will have the opportunity to recognise your individual talents at the same time next year. From the Grosvenor House Hotel in London, we wish you a good night. Good night.
Och vi på TV2 vill tacka alla er som har tittat på det här programmet. Vi vill tacka vår kära videobandmaskin som har rullat ut det här programmet utan några som helst mankemang. Vi vill tacka vår ljud- och bildtekniker och sändningsledning som har fått det hela att fungera. Och vi vill tacka för oss och önska en god natt.